Welcome to the Deadlifts and Pizza podcast, where we discuss no BS fitness and nutrition.
We're your hosts. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jamie.
Let's get into it.
What's up? What's up? How's it going?
Good.
You kids are home for winter break this week?
Yes. And it's going to get up to 40 degrees today.
Dude!
So nice.
Oh, you want to hear very opposite world? Like we're living in opposite worlds story? It's not a story, it's a statement. We opened the pool yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it never closed. That was the thing. It never actually closed it. It was just there became a point where I wasn't getting in every day. And I was tracking. I was paying attention because I wanted to know, what is the seasonal? I stopped getting in every day about mid-October. And then it became very occasionally until about mid-November, right before Thanksgiving. And then it was we didn't get in at all. And it was all hot tub. And then yesterday was the first day we got fully in the pool. The water was 70 degrees, which is still kind of chilly, but when it's hot out, 80s and sunny, that feels really good. So it's probably going to be reverse, probably mid-February to mid-March will be occasionally. And then by March we'll be in every day again.
Around here, I don't have an in-ground pool. I don't know. It depends on if people have a heater for their pool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But maybe May people open their pool and they close it in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty common. And when I got into the pool, I had a friend visiting from Northern Virginia, so she knows she said it's just so cold over there still. But she was saying when I got in the pool, it felt really cold, but I was but it's not really any more cold than when the East Coast first opens their pools in May.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's pretty cool. I was oh my God.
It's going to be, it's been -20 and negatives. It's this is the first week where there's no below 0 days. It's nice. Nope. And so I think I'm going to go for a walk and pull the baby girl on the sled, or not the sled, the wagon, which feels like a sled,
Yeah.
I was I should put my belt around my sled belt and
oh my God,
pull her
dude,
and drag her around.
Yes, you should. Because having that arm behind you when you're pulling a kid, you should. Would you do that, or would you be too people are gonna think I'm weird?
I don't care if people think I'm weird. It's more that it's kind of a far distance. I don't know. I guess I could always grab it if I need to, but I feel I don't know how much control I would have over her moving around, just because it's kind of, I don't know. It's not right behind me,
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. To walking in the road. Not that we have a lot of traffic where I live, but
yeah. All right. Well, let me know. I would love to see evidence of you pulling her with your sled belt.
So I'm almost done with the landmine program. I
thought you were done. Oh, you mean doing it?
Doing it. Yeah, because it's only a 4-week program. So next week will be my last week. So I have less than 2 weeks left. And I'm a planner, so I have to plan ahead, thinking about what I'm going to do next. I get all excited about what am I going to do next.
I know.
And it's getting warmer, getting closer to cut season. So I think I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on pull-ups and chin-ups and all that stuff. But not fully. I'll probably do another 4-week program, and I'll put them in there.
Me too, bitch.
Yeah. Another 4-week program and put them in there. But not
Since you said it.
make them it's not gonna be a pull-up focus program. They're just gonna be in there. You know what I mean? And then, but I might in between start greasing the groove a little bit.
Good time for pull-ups, because the goal is that weight goes down. So the weight that you're pulling up goes down.
Yes.
And
so
then
it's easier.
Using your body weight, even though pull-ups are incredibly challenging, during a cut is much easier than a very heavy deadlift or squat.
Yeah. And I don't want to be doing that. So I just can't do that in a cut anymore. It's funny because when I was first started, it was actually easier for me to do a strength focused program in a cut, and I would always get stronger because I find higher reps way more taxing. That makes me way more tired, and I feel it uses way more energy than when I am. But heavier weights make me hungrier, so it's kind of a balance. But I found that I can handle that better. But now it's too much. I can't do that. I get exhausted. So it's
heavy weights toast me, especially on a really heavy lower body day. Oh my God, absolutely toasted. I can't do that during a cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my days for the pull-ups, I'm going to do like weight. Actually, I'm going to do chin-ups because my goal is going to be 12 chin-ups. And I think if I could do 12 chin-ups, then I could probably do 10 pull-ups, right? So I'm going to focus more on the chin-ups, and they're easier. So I will want to do them more. And I want to get to that probably, like, that's my immediate goal. Then eventually when I hit that goal, I'll probably have a new goal. But one day I'm going to do like weighted chin-ups. The other day, and I don't know why I don't do this more, because I program these for other people, not for pull-ups, but for just in general. When somebody wants to get stronger at something, I find this almost always works. I mean, if you did it all the time, it probably wouldn't work, but is cluster sets.
Oh, yeah.
I really
I
like
use cluster sets all
cluster
the time.
sets. And I program them for other people all the time, but for myself, I never even think about doing it. So I'm going to use cluster sets, and I will probably pick a couple other exercises that I might do some cluster sets for, but I really like them because they don't tax me as much, and they do seem to, every time I use them for other people, they get stronger using them. I lost you. You muted yourself or something.
Yeah, I like cluster sets a lot.
But I wanted to talk about what cluster sets are and the difference between cluster sets and rest pause sets. Because I
Okay.
remember when I first started, I didn't understand the difference because I would see them programmed and I would be like, isn't that the same thing? Because they're very
Yeah,
similar in the
they're
way that
very
they're
similar.
structured, but different intent and slightly different structure.
Yeah.
So rest pause sets, I feel like, are more common. People probably have done them before if they've done either of our programming, because I think we both use rest pause sets. And with a rest pause set, the goal is more hypertrophy. With a cluster set, the goal is more strength. So because it's hypertrophy, you're going to be going close to failure with all of your sets, or to failure, because that is one of the biggest drivers of hypertrophy, right? So with a rest pause set, you might, on your first set, you might go all the way to failure or very close to it. Then you're going to take like a 15 to 20-minute break. And then you're going to use that same weight again. And you're going to try to do as many reps as possible, which should be a lot less, right? And then you're going to take another 15 to 20-second break. And then you're going to do that again, and so on. And you maybe do that for like 3 or 4 times, right? That's a rest pause set. And your reps should go down. And it's very taxing. So I wouldn't recommend doing that on every exercise. Like if I program that, it's going to be maybe one exercise per workout, but it can be helpful in like a fast way to, like, it makes things faster, right? Getting all that work in that short amount of time. But like I said, it's very taxing, and I wouldn't use that for like a deadlift or a squat or something that, like you probably want to use it for an accessory exercise. And it could be like a compound exercise, like a dumbbell row or something, but not something like a deadlift or squat. Because you imagine like doing a deadlift to failure and then taking the short break and then going to failure again and then taking a
Yeah,
short
no
break.
thank you.
No, that's probably not the smart idea. A squat either. Whew, I can't even imagine. So no. So use it for like more accessory exercises. Now, a cluster set is a similar structure because you're going to be taking those short mini like intraset breaks. So you're going to do a couple reps and then take a break, maybe slightly longer break. It'd probably be like 20 to 30 seconds compared to like 15 to 20 seconds, but you can still take a short break. Depends on how it's, programmed. But what you're going to do with that is it's going to be selected, like pre-programmed how many reps you're going to be doing per set. And you're not going to be going to failure, because for strength, the biggest driver for strength is not getting close to failure. It's lifting heavy weights, right? So lifting something that is 80% of your max or more is going to be a big driver of strength, because it forces you to recruit more motor units and all of that stuff, and works on neuromuscular efficiency, all of that stuff when you lift heavy, right? And the other driver of strength is bar speed. And that, because the same thing, if you lift things quickly, same thing, makes you recruit more motor units. So those are two things that you want to focus on when you're thinking of strength. You don't necessarily need to be getting close to failure. So the cluster set, what you're going to do is, and there's so many ways to set this up. You don't have to do it this exact way, but this is just an example. So maybe you pick a weight that is your 6 rep max, and you're going to break that you're going to do 6 reps, but you're going to break it up into 3 sets of 2. So you're going to do 2 sets, rest 20 to 30 seconds, do 2 sets, rest 20 to 30 seconds, do 2 sets, rest, well, then you rest for 2 minutes before you do that again. And what that does is now you're able to lift your 6 rep max, right? You're going to be able to do that and do like 6 reps with this. So you're still getting all that volume in there, but those little mini breaks are going to allow you to be able to lift that weight faster than if you didn't take that break, right? So you're still lifting the heavy weight. You're still able to lift it fast. And there are some times where you could maybe even squeeze in more volume. So you might do something where it's like your 3 rep max, but maybe you break it up into sets of 1 and you do 5 reps, right? So you can even do stuff like that. So it's a strategic way to be able to get stronger. Same thing, not something I would use all of the time, but something that could be used intermittently.
Yeah. I like you were saying about rest pause. Rest pause works well if you're going to take one way I like to use it is 3 sets of a bicep curl. If you've got 3 sets of bicep curls, instead of doing 3 sets of bicep curls with a rest in between, you literally just smash all of those reps together into one big set and just rest pause until you finish them. So if you were supposed to do 3 sets of 10, just smash them together to make it 30. And now you're just going to pick a weight that's relatively challenging for those 10 reps, but you're just going to keep going and you're going to rest as often as needed until you finish that 30. And those rests, usually I do like 15 to 20 second pauses. The time I do use rest pause when it comes to strength is with pull-ups though. Because with pull-ups, I'll do because it's like a progression from from cluster sets. So for cluster sets, you can do like 2, 2, 2, right? So so you can get 6. And some people who can't do, let's say you can barely do 5 pull-ups. If you cluster set them and do 2, 2, and 2, you all of a sudden can do 6 because you gave yourself those little mini rests. So sometimes that can work well for that strength. But then once you're doing that pretty well, like 2, 2, and 2, changing that to 6 pull-ups rest pause style can be like a progression, or even like 7 rest pause style, because then, like you said, it's not predetermined. So rest pause is you just do as many as you can before you have to take a break. And then you do as many as you can before you have to take another break, even if that is 1 rep and before you take another break in 1 rep. It doesn't matter how you do it. Whereas cluster sets are predetermined chunks. So like do 2, 2, and 2, or 3, 3, and 3, or 1, 1, and 1. Whereas rest pause is like you can do 2, if you're doing 2, 2, and 2, then it's like, okay, we'll smash those all together and do 6, but do it rest pause style. So you might do 4, and then you might do 1, and then you might do 1.
See, I wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do rest pause. Like if I do pull-ups with a rest pause style, I'm trashed. Like I don't feel good afterwards, and then I don't want to do them again. It doesn't work as well for me. So instead of doing like, okay,
but again, it's a small amount though. You're still doing, it's not like you're doing a lot. You're still doing a small, it's kind of just testing, can I do all these 6 in a row yet? Right?
Yeah, but if you're doing it rest pause, you're doing like, okay, I'm going to do 6 and now I'm going to rest. And I'm going to do as many as I can again, and then I'm going to rest, and then I'm going to do as many as I can again. Now I'm fried. Like now I'm done. Now if I just did 6, that's totally different. But I'm extending that even further. So
you would do rest pause, but only 6 of them. Because you can only do, because let's say
you're saying do like 4 and then do 2 or 1.
Yeah, exactly. Because let's say somebody can't do 6 pull-ups. They can only do 4. If they just go for it, they can only do 4. So we start programming 2, 2, and 2. And all of a sudden they are doing 6 pull-ups because they're doing it in chunks of 2. But they have the break in between, so they're able to get there. So now this person who can only do 4, I'll say, okay, now instead of doing cluster, do rest pause to 6. So that way you're kind of testing how many can you do in a row before you eke out one more, climbing up to 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would do it differently. Because I would just progress it in that, okay, now your new setup is going to be 3, 2, 2 or something. And then it's going to change and it's going to be like 4, 2, 1. I don't know. Like I'm just making stuff up. But that's how I would progress it. I wouldn't be like, do as many as you can, because as soon as you do that,
But I
fried.
do rest pause until 6. So it's the same as being like 4, 1, 1, because that's probably what they'll do if they do rest pause till 6. It's like you're doing rest pause until 6. So do as many as you can within 6. If you get 6, great. You have a new max now. But you probably won't. They'll do 4. Like, okay, and 1,
But
and then
rest
1.
pause in it is you're going to failure, is what I'm saying is the issue.
But I don't think it necessarily has to be that way. It's not inherent to the I think that's generally how it's used, but it doesn't inherently mean you have to go to failure.
So you're going to tell them, do as many reps as you can, stopping 2 reps shy of failure?
Yes. Okay, yes, you technically are going to failure because I'm saying do as many as you can.
Yes, that's what I'm
But
saying.
if you are progressing cluster sets instead of doing 2, 2, 2 for pull-ups, and then you progress it and do like 3, 2, 1, those 3 for somebody who can't really do that many anyway could very well be going to failure.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that way. So, okay, so for example, all right, I'm going to do cluster sets for my pull-ups, chin-ups. The last time I tried my max for chin-ups, it was like 9, right? I probably can't do 9 anymore because I haven't been practicing. So I'm going to say it's 8, right? So I'm probably going to, my first week, make it easy, break it up into 2, 2, 2, 2, like do 4 sets of 2. And then I'm going to go to 3, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually I'm probably going to up the total amount of reps I'm doing to like 10 and 12, whatever. But my breaks in between is not going to be going to failure. I'm never going to do 8 all at once. It might be like 6 and then 1, 1, 1. I don't know what it would be, but I would see how I feel. You know what I mean?
But why not?
Because that's not good for strength. Like I just explained, the things that are good for strength
You're right.
are speed. Like speed is important for strength. If you care about hypertrophy, sure. And if you are trying to hit a new max, like if you're like, hey, I want to test it. I wouldn't do that with a rest pause set. I would just test it. I would just go up there and see, okay, how many can I do in a row? And then do it as a straight set and take a break. Sorry, I'm getting very passionate about this.
So it's funny because it's, for some reason, it's pull-ups and chin-ups in general, or like push-ups, like these body weight things that I feel like I attack a little differently. And when I've attacked it differently, those are the only times I've gotten stronger at them. Like I've told you before, with pull-ups, the only time I was actually able to increase my pull-ups by a large amount is when I was doing as many as I could every day. And every day I would just hop on the bar and I would try to do one more every time.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
that was when I
overload. Like you're doing that.
I was going to failure.
You're going to failure for one set. That's not a rest pause set. You're not going to failure and then breaking and then going to failure again and then breaking and then going to failure again.
Well, I would if I have this number in my mind. So when I was not doing them every single day, but I was doing them like regularly, trying to do more, like another time period, I have in my mind, like, I want to be able to do 10. So like maybe for a few weeks in a row, I'd cluster set 10 or blah, blah, blah. But then there'd be a week, and maybe after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to see if I can go to 10. And I would tell myself, you want to get all 10. So I would do as many as I could within 10. And then I would like eke out one more so that I got to 10, but I actually did 8 in a row, right? Like,
yeah.
And so I would still get that 10 because I'm just trying to get as many as possible.
Yeah.
And it is giving some hypertrophic benefits to my lats because I am going to failure technically, but I'm also being able to test how many I can do.
I'm just okay, so maybe that works for you. For me, it does not.
Yeah, I heard.
Like,
it's very interesting.
If I do rest pause sets, I am fried and I don't want to do them again. And the next time, not only do I not want to do them again, the next time I go to do pull-ups, I am weaker. Every single time I do rest pause sets. It's like I'm never able to progress and be able to do more.
Ah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
So
good conversation.
In science,
but yes, I do yeah, I agree with you. And yes, yes, I agree with you. It's just interesting is with pull-ups, that's the only time I've ever actually been able to like do a lot more when I just did it that way.
I can't think of like any other exercise where you'd be like,
I
I'm
know.
gonna add rest pause sets to be stronger at
No,
it
me neither.
because breaks are important for strength for
Mhm.
strength, right? And like I said, bar speed and all of that. Okay,
Mhm.
anyway,
Mhm. Yeah.
debate again. Okay. I get all like excited. Like, no, you're wrong. Okay. uh, okay, we're gonna go back to ranking home gym equipment.
Yeah, let's finish your list from last week. Oh, before we get into that, um, let's talk real quick about the fat loss challenge we're planning.
Okay.
Just
All
because
right.
it's the episodes come out a week, and after this thing, I was hoping we could talk a little bit more about it, but we're doing a fat loss challenge.
Yay.
Yay! It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited about it. I think it's been really cool, and, I'm excited to actually participate in it. I'm looking forward to having the accountability. Like,
Yeah.
even as a trainer and a coach, it is so helpful to have, like, a group of people and that you're, like, holding yourself accountable to, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And I've been thinking too about the type of program I want to do while I'm doing it. So is that part of like your calculus as well? Like thinking about what and the pull ups and everything, and that's how that
Yes.
came about?
Yes.
Cool.
Because I
Yeah.
can't do anything where I'm like we said. Yeah. It's got to
Yeah.
be
And
like
it
I'm focusing on a skill or something and
exactly.
enough where you don't need to do as much volume to maintain your muscle anyway. So I just need to do enough to
Exactly.
maintain. I don't need to go crazy because when I go crazy, then it makes it much harder to stay within my
So much
diet.
harder.
So I
I
I
can't
need to
I
focus on the diet more.
I can't tell you how many times still over years that I see people constantly talking about that you can totally be in a deficit and also just lift. You don't change the way you lift. And
That's
I think
always been
that's
the advice.
it's true for a certain population of people. If you haven't been lifting that long, you can still continue to do that. But once you get to a point where you're pretty much intermediate slash it definitely advanced, I cannot. I technically can, but I am so tired. I'm achy and I'm hurt. Like things
I
are irking and
know.
kirking, and I'm so hungry, and it's awful.
I used to
And
follow that
yeah,
advice and I would
yep.
just be like, I
Oh, it
don't
would
like
tear me
this.
down. No, it's awful.
Yeah.
So do you have any other ideas of how you want your program to look? How many days a week?
So I like the structure I'm doing now. I think my next program I'm going to do upper lower just to change it up. But
Mhm.
after that, it'll probably the end of that I'll probably be starting to cut my calories. But usually, and because I'm only going to do it for 4 weeks, usually by the end, usually at the beginning, I can still do things. It's
Yeah.
usually further into the cut where it becomes more of a problem. So that should be fine. Then after that, I'll probably do 3 full body. And then I like 3 conditioning days on top of that. So I like working
Mhm.
out 6 days a week, but the conditioning they're not always long. They're sometimes shorter days. Um, and they can just sometimes I just make stuff up that day. I'm like, I'm just gonna go and
Yeah.
just like the other day I went outside and pushed the sled. Oh my God. No, the sled was frozen. I couldn't. I did sprints outside. I did sprints outside. Why? Why am I
Were
this
you
is when I do
lungs
stuff
hurting?
like this. Oh my God, when I was doing it, I was dying. Like I'm so dying. And then the heart rate monitor is like 160,
Oh,
165. And I'm like,
really?
that's not the same because I've been on the treadmill and I've gotten it up to 165 and it did not feel that way. It felt like I could do this for not like forever, but I could do this for a pretty long time. Outside, I don't know if it's the snow, the cold. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I am dying. I felt like I was in the red, but no,
Do Was
apparently
it
not.
accurate?
I think so. It's been like I could tell it's been
Mm,
very accurate before
mm,
this because every time I get up into the zones, I know like I can feel it before it even tells me.
interesting.
Yeah. I
It's
don't
that
know.
lung burning cold.
It
I
must
hate
be.
that feeling.
It
Oh my
must be.
gosh.
Anyway, so I got distracted. What was your question?
Oh,
I
I don't
don't
know.
even remember.
Oh, just no, the program you answered it already.
Oh, did I? Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like you just had a tangent.
I just boop, 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 boop. Squirrel. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was thinking something along the same lines though, like 3 days a week, full body, and then maybe like trigger sessions, since it's gonna
Okay.
be for a lot of people. Yeah, so the trigger sessions
Yeah.
can be if you wanna be in the gym more,
Yeah.
do some, isolation work, but if you wanna do cardio, that's a good idea. That's a good
Mhm.
opportunity to do cardio.
I like cardio what I like generally for cardio for people is if the beginning of your fat loss phase, if you never do cardio, generally, I wouldn't add it in. So I would wait. So I like the beginning, I would just do your regular deficit, your regular cut. And then once the deficit stops working as well, like as you start adapting to it, then you can add the cardio in and it gives you a new stimulus, and the cardio
Mhm.
will still be effective because you haven't adapted to the cardio yet. So that will give you a new way to be into a deficit without you having to drop your calories so low. So it gives you
Yeah.
like another tool in your toolbox. But if you already do cardio, I would just continue doing what you
Yeah.
normally do. Maybe you
Yeah.
can add more
Agreed.
later if you want, but
Agreed. Agreed.
yeah. So
All right.
so so the program for other people you meant, not just my program.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna follow whatever I do. I was gonna put out for
Okay.
whoever wants to do it with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ranking home gym equipment. All right. I want to explain this because last time we were like in this big debate because we were ranking it differently. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to explain this a little bit before. So the way I'm ranking this is based on, okay, generally when someone has a home gym, there are limitations to a home gym, right? And most likely those limitations either have to do with limited space or limited funds, right? So you want to find equipment that, I mean, it prioritize the equipment that isn't going to, how do I say this?
Like
Like,
that you can do a lot with it, so it's not
yes.
just a single use.
Yeah, you're not going to buy like one machine.
Yeah. And so it's basically maximizing what
Your
you can do with the yeah, and
with
money
your
as
space
well.
and
It's, like,
money.
relatively
Yeah.
inexpensive and that you can utilize in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, and it's gonna have the most bang for your buck.
Yeah. And it's not that like a squat rack can technically be expensive. A barbell and plates can technically be expensive, but they have such a high priority that they're still way up on the list that I still think that they're important relative to how expensive they are. Whereas something like a hack squat machine would be awesome, but the amount of space that would take up a too much space in your gym and the expense of it. You know, something
Well, and
that's how I think about it.
you came at it from the angle of if you have a very nice, well-equipped home gym, here's the most important things that you should have in it, right? That was more like
Yeah, but I'm saying like generally, most people are going to have limited space with limited money, so these are things you should prioritize. You are doing it more on like time, right? Like if you are just starting your home gym, this is what you should start with.
yeah, kind of. I was doing that's because we're ranking them S through F tier. So
Hmm.
I was ranking them based on the most important things to have. So everything in the S tier is going to be if you have nothing and you need to get by with like the most important things, this is what you should do. And then A tier is like, okay, now you want to build onto that. What else should you have? I was going that way all
Hmm.
the way down until F, which is like just don't even bother. No matter what point you get to in your home gym, don't bother buying it.
I'm the same, similar, but it's more like okay, like the sled debate, right?
Yeah, you put that in what did you put that in,
I put it
S?
in A no, not S. I
Oh,
put it in
A,
A
okay.
originally, but I lowered it to B, and you had it in D. But the
D.
reason I put it in A was because it's very ineffective a piece of equipment, right? But it's not, you can find ones relatively cheap. Like buying a sled isn't going to stop you from buying another piece of equipment because it's not like $2,000. Well, you can buy one that expensive, but you don't have to, right? So if I bought like a $2,000 piece of equipment, it might my ability to buy any other piece of equipment. So it's not going to be limiting that way. And you could like I leave mine outside, so it doesn't stop me from buying any other piece of equipment. So it's like an added piece that isn't taking up any space and didn't take up that much money and it's very effective. So for me, that's going to be high on the list because why not buy it unless you don't have the space to use it, which is a problem, which is why it's not an S. It would be an A. Well, it's also not an S because I still think like dumbbells and barbells and those kinds of
But
things are more
also,
important.
like, so I would still argue you're ranking them differently, though, because if you were to then forget about all this, if you were to, like, make an infographic and you were like building your home gym, and you would
Mhm.
be like, start with these things, and you'd put on like dumbbells, I don't know, like a bench, like whatever you would say, like for your first. And then the very next tier, okay, you've got your basics and you're ready to add to it. The very next
See, you're
tier, would you
doing
put a
it
sled on there?
See, you're doing it by like time again. I don't care. Like, this is just, it's like, you don't need to own this right this minute. But if you're equipping your home gym and you're like, what are all the things that I want? Why not own a sled? Like, there's no reason not to own it. Like,
Well, don't
because,
you? Here's a reason. Don't you load a sled with plates that you would put on a barbell? What if you
yeah,
don't have those yet?
but those are an S.
For me, they're not an S, they're an A.
I put them in S.
See, I put them in A. I put like, again, like, I think we're categorizing them differently. I'm still tiering them as starting your home gym moving forward. What would you add to
Yeah, you're
equip it
doing it
more and more and more?
I'm doing it based on limited space and limited money.
Yeah, just
Because those
based
are your
like,
limitations and priority in that, you know, no, you don't necessarily need a sled. It's not going to go in A. So I did move it to B. I think B
okay,
makes more sense. Like, you
all
don't
right.
necessarily need a sled. Not that you need anything. You could, whatever. Is that like dumbbells aren't a necessity, but they are very
Yeah.
beneficial, right? But so that's why it would be. I guess I would probably lower it to B. But it's like, why? It's so beneficial. Why not
Well,
own it? It's
again,
not like
that's why, like, I'm not giving the sled a grade of a D as a piece of equipment. I'm putting it in a D because I'm thinking of it as a ranking. Like, it's definitely not an F because it's a great thing to have, but it's probably one of the last things you need to get in my mind. Like, get all these other things first, and then yeah, once you're really used to strength training, I'm still thinking of it like beginner gym building moving forward.
yeah, because you're doing it based on like which one things you'd get first. You're doing it based on time. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
difference.
exactly. I think we're thinking of it similarly, but just this with this weird overlap. That's how
You're
I'm
doing it
like,
you're ranking it and based on this is what you should get first. You're doing it based on
yeah,
time. I'm not
I
ranking it on
am.
this is what you should get first. I'm ranking it on like this is you don't need to get it first, but these are the things that you should probably have like that are the most important.
Yeah, I understand that. That's funny.
Yeah. I guess I'm ranking it like how I equip my home gym. I
Yeah.
That's how I look at things. How much space does this take up? Is it worth the amount of space that it's taking up? Is it worth the amount of money that I have to pay for it? Because if I buy this, that means I can't buy something else. Now I have to save up my money for something bigger. A
So
sled
it's
was
more
like,
so just looking at your gym and looking at all the stuff you have, which like what grade does everything have based on how useful it is in your gym?
yeah,
Not necessarily like go get it first and last in order
no, it's
kind of
not.
thing.
It's not
Yeah.
an order in the time.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
a time
Mine's in
order.
like this order.
We talked
That's how
about
I'm
this for
thinking
way
of
too
it.
long.
I know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh,
In
I
fairness, when we started this whole thing last week, I said that. I said, just to be clear, this is how I'm thinking of the ranking. And I was like,
I
this is
know, but you
exactly how
kept
I'm going to
telling
do
me
it.
I was wrong. That's the problem. Like, I don't
No,
care
I
what you
didn't.
rank it. Yeah, you're like that. Yeah, anyway.
No, because you know why? Because you agreed with me when I explained how I'm going to do my ranking. You were like, right, me too. So that's why. You never were like, oh, I'm thinking of it a little differently. You were just like, yeah. So that's why when you started saying that, I was like, really? And then I
Oh,
started to
okay.
realize you're actually ranking them
Maybe
differently.
I didn't understand what you were saying
I
when you
think
were
so.
saying it.
I think so.
I thought you thought just like me, and apparently you don't.
Oh, come on. That's been covered. It's why we
Okay,
started this podcast.
I didn't delete the things from last time. I think we were talking. I think pull up bar was the last one, right? Because we didn't do
Uh,
TRX bands, right?
right.
TRX bands would be next.
So in my ranking, I'd I don't know. It's kind of hard because for some people I'll recommend them right away. I'll be like, "Oh, you really wanted, like if somebody um maybe a C. Yeah,
This
I
is
give
a
them a
hard
C.
one for me because I guess it depends on the person and their goals. Like, I think some people TRX bands are great. I, I'm going to put it in C just because I don't think it's something that, like, you could get by and you'd be totally fine never
Totally.
having TRX bands,
Never.
but they can be helpful and you can do different things with them and you can do, like, add different exercises with them. But I have them and I rarely ever use them. except for a couple things. So I'm gonna put
Yeah.
it in C for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my mom, I recommended those as like her very first piece of, at home resistance training because she works out in a gym but wanted something to do at home, but she wasn't willing to buy like any actual weights. And she was like, "Should I just buy some bands?" So then I was like, "Get TRX cuz at least you can
Yeah.
do I think it would for her purpose." And I have them and I've used them for travel. I really like them if I'm
Yeah,
going to
that's what they're good for
travel.
too.
Yeah, I really like that. My favorite thing about TRX bands are that they're my 2 favorite things. One is that they're easy to attach to like doorway, but the other is that they're easy to do an almost vertical, not really doing a vertical pull, but like an incline. Like they're a good way to do that if you don't have a pull-up bar.
Mhm.
I like them for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think they can be very helpful. Like, I'm not, like, against TRX bands. I'm just see, it does matter priority too, like, what's most
Yeah,
important.
and see that doesn't work in my ranking system because I could say you could get all I could put them in an F and say you never need them. But then
Yeah.
there might be certain situations where it's like, "Oh, but actually, let's raise the importance of those because you could really use them right now."
Yeah.
So, that's tough.
An easy curl bar.
Um, uh, an easy curl bar has to be the zigzaggy one, not the straight one.
Yeah.
Then what would you call the straight one?
A
Just a
bar.
barbell, like a shorter one? Like it's a shorter one?
Oh, like one for curling?
Yeah. They make shorter bars that are just like easy they're just like easy bars, but they just don't have the kernk in them. They don't have the
Well,
zigzag.
the zigzag makes it so it's like,
Totally.
you know yeah, anyway. I
I
don't know how to
guess
explain it.
clarifying because I have one of each. I have a easy bar and then I have a straight bar, but they're the
Okay.
same length. They're for like smaller barbell stuff.
Okay.
And I like the easy bar more. Um, for that. Uh, see?
I put it in D
Yeah. D. Oh,
because
okay. I
yeah,
really
like,
like them though.
it has but, like, I guess it's biceps. Like, that's all it
Yeah.
is biceps, and
Yeah.
that's why I put it in a D just because of the,
Exactly.
uh, versatility of it. If you really care about growing your biceps, I guess, but, like, dumbbells are great for biceps. Like, you don't need a barbell at all for biceps, like, because it you can't lift that much weight, so dumbbells work great, and you can do them in all
Yeah.
different angles and whatever. So that's why I would give it a D.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying
I
you should
really
never
like the
have
way
one,
it
just
yeah.
I'm not
I
interested.
do because once I already load my easy bar for if I'm gonna do like a curl, I will just go ahead and use that bar for like skull crushers. Or like
Mhm,
I'll have my kids because that my easy curl bar is lighter than my straight bar.
mhm.
And so I'll give them the easy curl bar if they're doing overhead presses, even though I don't like the grip because it's for biceps. Yeah, maybe D. I think I agree with you. I'm lowering it.
Yeah. Like, yeah. That is
Yeah.
a nicer thing that's lighter, so you can actually use it if you
I
can't do
like
the
it.
full bar, and
Yeah.
the angles are better, right? But anyway. Um, so one of those leg press hack squat machines, have you ever seen those? You could do both.
It's like an inverted leg press, so you're standing to do the leg press?
So you can I think you can lay down to do the leg press, and then you
Mhm.
put it on your shoulders to do the hack squat.
Hmm. Well, at a home gym?
Mhm.
F. I mean, why would you ever need that?
I'm not giving it an F. I would love one, honestly. Like, I would love that. I can't do leg press, or I love the hack squat. I love both of those things. I love ways
Yeah.
to load up my legs where
You don't
it's
have to
not I don't need a
load the
barbell on
spine
my
with the
back.
barbell. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In a hack
So what
squat,
did
you're
you
not
do?
gonna load
D?
it as much. So I would say D just because they're kind of expensive and they take up a lot of room. But if they didn't, I would want, like, when I get my bigger gym, that's one of the things that I would be eyeing because eventually I'm gonna
Mm,
get a bigger gym. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, okay, I'll do D.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be cool.
um Kettlebells.
I love kettlebells. Um, but it depends on if you want to learn how to do kettlebells. C.
Mm.
I think they have the ability to be like an A. or even an S, depending on how you use your gym, if you're
Yeah.
thinking of it that way.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think everybody needs to get them. Just get dumbbells, but if you're gonna swing stuff around and you wanna learn how to use kettlebells, I love them.
I'm gonna put 'em I'm gonna put 'em in B, but I agree with everything you said. Like, I love
Mhm.
kettlebells. They are expensive, and if you have dumbbells and you don't I mean, you don't necessarily need kettlebells, but they do add more versatility of things you can do, and I like them. So,
Yeah,
I would say B, but like you said, yeah, I could see them in A. Probably not S, but I can see them in A.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Plyo box.
Mm, plyo box. This could be very useful. You can do a lot that you're if you have a bench though. I'm gonna say a B. I wish I had one. I still don't have one. I don't know
You don't
why.
have one?
No.
I'm going to
They're really
I
good for step ups and the bench can be kind of wiggly and
rickety.
not
Yeah.
very not very stable.
I this is a hard one for me because I have one and I use it a lot, and I love jumping on it because the bench, same thing.
Mhm.
It's rickety a little bit, and I can jump higher. You can get them all different heights, but they take up so much room. They take up a
Mhm.
lot of room. I use mine as like a table. It's sitting
Okay.
there, and it's like a table because it's made out of wood. Um, you can get the foam ones more. Anyway, I'm gonna say I want to say like C plus B minus.
Okay.
Yeah, because beneficial, but I don't think everybody needs one. You can get by without a plyo box, and it takes up a lot of room. They're not
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
expensive, but they do take up a lot of room.
Yeah, you can get the stacking ones.
Yeah, but they're just I don't know. Like, just think of like, so the highest level of this is how I 30 inches. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it takes it's big. You know, it's
Yeah.
bigger than you
Mhm.
think it would be. Like, if you see a picture of it, it doesn't like, when you see the pictures when they're selling them, they don't look that big, but then when you actually get them, they're pretty big. They take up a decent
Yeah.
amount of room.
Mhm.
Anyway, um, sorry. Adjustable bench with or without a leg extension or leg curl. I don't know, like, and we could separate those or
If it's a with the leg curl, I think is awesome. If it's a good bench that's not really wobbly. I've had a cheap one before and it just moves all around at all the different hinge points. But if you get a good one, I think that can be a solid A
mm.
because I love being able to do hamstring curls and leg extensions with a bench. So you can put the plates on there and I love that.
Does it
Um yeah.
does it have it like, is it always there or can you take it off and put it
You
back
can
on?
take it off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
that
can say
makes it
see
sound
there's a
better.
little hinge thing and you can open it and pull the whole contraption off and put it to the side.
So you don't
And
need it
then
there all the time.
right. I love that. I don't when I go to buy a new bench, I spend a lot of time making sure it's adjustable in the seat, all the way incline, all the way decline, plus that on it because I really like the ability to be able to do those at home. So I would
Okay.
say an A with the I mean, an A in general, having a bench that inclines, I would say S. Don't buy a bench unless it inclines and declines
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But then with the attachment, I would say A because you can get by without having it. But if you can, I would get the one with the curling and the yeah.
I think I agree with you. S for regular, A where the I don't have one with the leg extension, leg curl,
Mhm.
because I felt like it would take up too much room, but how much I don't know how much room does it
Yeah, I
actually
love
take
it.
up. I would like to
Yeah.
be able to do those exercises.
Exactly.
It would be
It's
very
hard to
helpful.
really it's hard to hammer the quads when
Yeah,
you don't have anything else other than what you have at home, like barbells and stuff, and I can decline my bench so that I can
yeah.
almost be laying back and do the curls and get that, like,
Okay. Yeah.
extended yeah,
Yeah, the only other
love it.
options are the reverse Nordics, which are very challenging, and sissy squats, which are also very challenging. So,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
I hate leg extensions, by the way.
And
Like, I love them, but I hate them.
I
Those
don't
hurt
like
more than any other exercise.
I don't like the alternatives for those, like with a resistance band or with a dumbbell. I don't like those. They just
I've done
don't.
it with my cable, and it's okay, but
Oh,
it's a
I can
pain in
see
the
with
ass
the
to set up.
cable. Yeah,
Mhm.
pain in the ass to set up,
Yeah,
exactly.
I have, like, the little ankle strap thing, so I can do it with that, and it does work pretty well, and I can lean back because I can set it where I lean back. It actually works better if I lean back.
Mhm.
Um, so I do that, but it's sometimes a pain, like, I'm like, "I don't wanna set this up," so
Yeah. Mhm.
okay. Um, sorry. I get lost where I am because there's just so many. A Bosu ball, that was you wanted me
Oh,
to add that in.
F.
F.
You don't need
Not necessary. You
one.
don't need that. I mean, there are some applications, but not necessary.
And the
Not
argument I hate
necessary.
the most is, "But won't it improve your balance?"
No.
You know what improves your balance? Balancing on the hard ground, because it should be applicable to what you're gonna do in real life. So, yes, if you need to be better at balancing on unstable rounded surfaces, and
Yeah.
that is a specific for whatever reason, that's like a skill you need for your job, then yeah, a BOSU could help train that because it's balancing on an unstable surface. But balancing on an unstable surface, no, does it make your balance on stable surfaces better? No, there is not a carryover. So people are like, "Oh, I'll do it on here because then my balance on stable surfaces will get better." It actually won't. Flawed reasoning. You really
You know
don't
what
need to use it.
you know what I like? I put this in the landmine program on the mobility day, is I don't know why when you close your eyes, but have you ever just stood on one leg and then closed your eyes? Like, I can stand on one leg forever, not forever, but a very long time without closing my eyes. But once I close my eyes, it's like I'm
It's
like
all off, your
wobbling all over the
perception.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put, because when you do that, you actually like work on your muscles in your foot and your ankle and all of that stuff, which is good for
Those little tiny
mobility.
muscles that are that are picking up all those
Yeah.
supporting muscles.
Yeah.
They're picking up that movement, which is an argument for using BOSU. They're like, "Well, all those muscles, all those little stabilizer muscles are being activated when you're on BOSU." And it's like, "But yeah, but to what?" Because they're also being activated if you're balancing on a hard surface. And if you balance yourself on the stable surface, then those muscles are doing exactly their job. So why stress them out more by unstabilizing yourself?
I
But
just think it's unnecessary.
were you gonna say that you put in like a eyes closed single leg landmine squat or something?
No, no, I just put it in the mobility day with like body weight. You just
Oh.
stand on one leg and you close your eyes and you try to hold it for like 60 seconds and stand
Oh,
on one foot
okay.
and you will be wobbling all over the place. Yeah.
That's so funny.
No, nothing with the landmine, nothing weird.
With eyes closed.
That's important. Um, lifting straps.
That's not really equipment. That's like a
I,
helper.
c- I, I mean, I consider it like your
Yeah.
gym, not equipment, but like, yeah, it's just gym
A
stuff.
D. D.
I'm going to say C, just because they don't take up a lot of room and they're not very
That
expensive. So
that's
if
true.
they come, if they're helpful for like certain, like we've talked about them before, like they can be helpful in certain applications, but they're not necessity. Like nobody
Right.
needs to get lifting straps. So I'm going to put it in C just because,
Yeah.
like, why
Okay.
not?
For that reason, yeah, why not? I'll give him a C too.
Um, Cables. Like, this is a hard one because you can have a cable machine, you can have cables in your rack, you can have the cable that I have that you have to put like use plates and it like has the pulleys all
Exactly.
around.
Yeah.
So it depends. I don't know if you want to rank them all separately or just all in one big group.
A really good yeah. So I have the kind of cable that it hooks to my squat cage. It's like a cable attachment.
Okay.
And on one end is like whatever handle attachment you want. And then it goes through the pulley system. And on the other end, yeah, there's like a bar that sticks straight up and you have to load plates onto that bar and then that's
Mhm.
what you're pulling.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a pain to set up
Mhm.
and I can only pull from the top down. I can't set it up to pull straight in front of me or lower it to pull from the bottom. So
Okay.
I think if somebody has, like, an actual legit cable machine like they have at the gym where you can adjust the angle of the pull and it's easier to just, like, click through plates, that's awesome. Like, I wish I had
Yeah.
something like
They're
that.
expensive though.
They are expensive and they take up a lot of room, but they're so awesome. So, like,
Mhm.
my my envy of somebody that has that wants me to put it at, like, an A, but the reality is you don't really need it. If you have I would just say a cable in general would be an A. Like, I think it'd be
Okay.
really cool. Even if it's annoying to set up, it's really nice. If you have, like, a cage and you're able to, like, attach that, that's gonna be really handy. Maybe a B. Maybe I'll give it a B. And then if you just happen to have, like, a really awesome actual cable machine, then that's just really, really cool.
I know, I'm jealous. Um, I would give it a B too, just because I think the like, some of the other things that were an A, I don't even remember them all, were probably be higher priority to me, but and it depends on what kind you have. Like, mine wasn't very expensive, and it doesn't take up a lot of room, but the
Same.
reason I wouldn't put it in A is because it is a pain in the butt to set up. Like, I have to get the thing out, and I have to stand on my bench to get the cable into the pulley because
Mm,
I'm short. And then I have it though, like, so I have the pulley, you could probably see it in the video. I have the pulley on the ceiling, so I can wrap it around that and do it that way, do like lat pull downs or something, or, you know, tricep push down, stuff like that. But then I can also do it. There's a pulley on the bottom. I can also pull it from there. So I could do things where I'm going up. So I use that for like lateral raises and all different kinds of things. So I have both.
that's nice.
I want to get a pulley more in the middle so that I can do things like wood chops
Yeah.
and things, anything where I want to go from the middle. And I asked Wayne, he just hasn't done it yet, but I will eventually probably have a pulley there too. So I can do it at the three different heights and it wasn't very expensive. It's just a pain in the
Just the
butt to set up.
setup.
Hmm.
It's funny, cables are one of those things where it kinda makes sense whether you're at home or in a full gym to do a whole day dedicated to just cable training. Because in a full gym, it's very similar where, like, a lot of times the cables are taken up, and once you leave, it's hard to come get it back, and if you just get a station and stay there, you could get your whole workout. You could get a
Yeah.
whole workout done on cables, and you could just stay there and not have to
Yeah.
move, and then the thing at home too, once you set it all up, it's like you might as well do your whole workout. You could do your whole workout with cables and make it worth it.
When I program cables, they're in a cluster. It's never just like one cable exercise. It's
Right.
like all the cable things you're doing are going to be on this day or
Yeah.
most of them or whatever. Um, but the only problem with this system is I can't superset anything. So I have to do them all in order.
Oh, yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay. A belt squat machine.
A belt squat machine?
Mhm.
F.
I
I
want one of
really
these so
like
bad.
I like the idea, but, like, you need a whole machine for it?
Yeah,
You
I
could
know.
even
It only does
stand
one thing. It's
you can get a belt with the chain, and
it
you just
doesn't
stand on 2 benches and attach the weight.
but who has 2 benches?
I'd rather you have 2 benches than go get a belt squat machine. I have 2
Yeah,
benches.
but are you gonna be, like, super sturdy on 2 benches?
I won't do them. I'm not gonna get the machine. Uh,
Now, would you do that with, like, a landmine? Because that'd be the only way to do it,
to do what?
to do the exercise. How else are you doing it? What do you do? Are you
You
hooking
let
to,
the
like, a
weights
kettlebell?
dangle. You
You
dangle the plates by the chain.
oh, so you're gonna use plates and
Mhm.
and dangle those.
Mhm.
Okay. Alright.
You can also and this isn't you can't load it up as much, but I've also stood in between 2 benches and just held a really heavy dumbbell, like, hanging in between my hands,
Mhm. Yeah, that's
but
not the same thing, though.
it's not you can't get as much weight that way.
So belt squats are great because the same thing, you're working your legs without loading up your spine. So it's one
Right.
of those thing exercises that people love and they say feel really good. And I've tried it at home with like I don't have 2 benches, but I've stepped on like 2 like I've stepped on plates, not 2 plates, like a bunch of plates to make it like that, and then used like a kettlebell or something or the landmine. I have like a little attachment that I can do that, but it's so much
Uh,
setup. Such a
right.
pain. I would love to have one. Like, if I had a lot of room, that would be something I would think about, but
Yeah.
D. I'm not giving it an F because I still would love to have one, so I'm gonna put it in B,
Yeah,
but
I see
obviously
that.
not necessary.
Maybe not F. Maybe I was harsh. I think I was harsh with some other thing too.
That's
Those 2
okay.
I'll leave there, but yeah, okay, D, but belt squat machine. I hear
Yeah.
you. That would be
Well,
fun.
it's kind of like, Jordan, when you said that he was talking about his, reverse hyper, right? His
Yeah,
reverse
mhm.
hyper machine, that's the only thing it does. It takes a lot of room, very expensive, but he loves it. Like, and he like,
Mhm.
I feel like if I had a belt squat machine, I'd probably feel the same way about
If
that.
I had a legit, like, T-bar row set up,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like, I would just really like that.
Even though it does one exercise.
Mhm.
A weighted vest.
Mm, I wanna say F, but it's not that it's completely pointless. I mean, some people just genuinely like using them. But I would say for most people, you do not need a weighted vest, but if it's something you wanna add, it's easy and doesn't take up much room. I don't know. C?
I'm gonna say C. I don't think it's totally useless. I think they're good for things like, if you're doing a conditioning thing and you just wanna add some resistance, it's a good
Mhm.
way to do that. If you're doing, like, GPP type exercise or workout, so, like, you're gonna do pull-ups, and then you're gonna do something else, you do something else, you know what I mean? And then it adds that resistance,
Mhm.
and makes it you could still do the movement like you normally would. You don't need to be carrying anything. So, like, you could do step-ups with it, you could do pull-ups with it, you could do push-ups with it, you could do things like that, that you would normally be body weight, you're adding weight to yourself, so I think it could be beneficial for that. I think it's just overhyped because people talk
Right,
about
right.
how it helps with bone density by going for a walk with a weighted
Yeah.
vest. And I don't think that's the goal. Like, I don't think that's the use of it that
Yeah.
you should be
It
doing.
shouldn't be.
Right. So I would still say it's C though. Like, I would like one. I think it would help with, especially with things like push-ups. I don't like putting a weight on my back,
Yeah.
but I would like to add a resistance to that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Um oh, reverse hyper. A reverse
Oh,
hyper machine. I had to think
yeah,
of
like
that.
D.
D, same thing. Same thing. It
Yeah.
would be awesome to have, but it does one thing.
Mhm.
Um, a dip attachment to your bar or to your
Oh,
rack.
I like those a lot. A B?
I'm gonna say B. It only does one thing, but I love mine and I use it a lot. You
Yeah,
know,
you
I
can't
like
really
dips
do
as an
dips.
exercise.
Yeah, you can't get that kind of, like, vertical pushing, but, like,
Yeah,
downwards, like, you can't do it in any other way.
no, and
It's really hard to do dips
mine is just
without it.
hanging up. It's just hanging up on the wall, so it doesn't take up a
Mhm,
lot of room. It was kind of
mhm,
expensive. Not for what it is. It was kind of expensive, but
mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna say B because I
Yeah, I
like
like those.
dips.
Mhm. You can also get, though, have you seen those bars? They're just like U-shaped bars, but upside down U. So they and you can get them pretty tall so that you can do dips in them, and those aren't very expensive, like on Amazon or something.
What do you? I mean, I've seen like things like that to do like something like an L sit or something, but
Yeah,
like,
but
can
they're
you
they're
do?
like L-sit bars, but they're taller.
Oh, okay.
They're really tall so that you can actually dip in between them, and then you could also do a inverted row on them. I
Okay.
don't know if there's much else you can do.
Yeah, where would you put that though? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're tall, but they're skinny, so you could, like, put them up against a but if you really wanna do dips, I guess that's what if you really
Yeah.
wanna do dips,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, this one I think you told me to add maybe because I don't.
Mm.
And you might have told me to add this vibration plates.
Oh, yeah, F.
F.
Well, yeah, F.
Well, no, don't buy that. You don't need to.
No. Yeah.
Battle ropes.
Um, battle ropes could be cool. You really don't n need them. I'm struggling between a C and a D. It could be
Yeah,
cool.
I'm gonna say C plus B minus, like in
Yeah.
that
They
area.
don't take up that much room.
They don't take up a lot of room, but you do need a lot of room to use them. Like, I can't use it in my space that I have now because I need Like, I could probably go diagonal, but even then, I think there'd be stuff in the way. So I can't use them until I go outside, and I'll probably have something, like, attached to my shed that I can just do them.
Mhm,
But,
mhm,
they're not very expensive, and they don't take
mhm.
up a lot of room. So as long as you have room to use them, I think it's a great way to add, like, conditioning in that's a little bit
Mhm.
different, and it's not high impact, you know? It's fun,
Yeah,
a little bit different, a little fun
yeah.
way to
Can
add
help your
some in.
shoulders grow a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Rower, and then I have one more
A
after this.
rower. Okay, so this is second to last one.
Mhm.
Um, a rower can be great. Like I like it for warm-ups and I do like it for like some conditioning as well.
Mhm.
Takes up a lot of room though. You don't really need one. C or D?
I'm gonna say C because I think I put a exercise bike in A or
Oh
and then a
yeah.
treadmill in B.
Yeah.
A rower is like I think it really depends on you, like what kind of conditioning or cardio you would rather do. I don't think I would love a rower too. Maybe B. I'm gonna put it in B.
Yeah, I wouldn't I
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people that get a rower end up not really using it as much as they think, and then it's
that's
so
true.
long,
It
and
does. It takes up a
they
lot
just
of
take
yeah.
up
You know what?
yeah,
C. I'm putting it back in
yeah.
C. It does take up so much room. If you're gonna choose one, I would do a bike probably.
And maybe they make foldable ones now, they should if they don't already. There's
Yeah.
gotta be some space saving because 'cause they're skinny, but they're
Mhm.
just long, so they take up a lot
They're
of floor
long.
space. Mhm.
One more. Med balls.
I like that that would be cool if you had some med balls. High C, low B?
I'm gonna say B. I love
Yeah.
med balls. It's very good for power. It's also awesome for I use them for clients when they may be a little bit older and they can't really train power the same way. Like it's a good low impact way to train for power instead of like
Mhm.
jumping all around, right? So it's a
Mhm.
good introduction to that. So they're really good for that. The negative of them is similar to the sled in that you need a like, I can't use them inside my shed. If I throw them against the wall, I'm gonna break my
Exactly.
wall. If I throw them against the ground, right? So
Yeah.
I go outside to throw it against the ground, and I don't have anything to do, like, twists and turns and all of that, but
Yeah.
that's one of the things that are great about them. 'Em. They're kind of like the landmine in that it's easier to do rotational things with a med ball.
Yeah, if you have some, like, 4 concrete walls all around you, they can be
Yeah.
great.
When when eventually, I'm gonna get a big home gym. When I do that, we're gonna make sure I can do things like med ball throws and push my sled inside and do all of that stuff. It's
Oh,
gonna be
man, that you have to have a big gym to
fabulous.
push your sled inside.
Yeah, we're
That's
gonna
what you were
build a
saying
big
about battle
space.
ropes. When I was saying about battle ropes, I was like, that's how I feel with the sled, though. It's like, I don't know where I would push it here. I don't have anywhere to push it, and I have a nice big yard and house and everything. I don't have anywhere I could, like,
You can't do it in your
legitimately
yard?
my backyard is all no-scape. It's all rocks and deck. And then my front yard has some grass, but it's not that big. I wouldn't get very far. Right as I got
Mm,
momentum, I'd have to stop.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Some people do it on their driveway. Depends, you know? So
what is
you
it
need a
coated with
driveway
on
or
the
a
bar?
yard.
How
What?
would I have a driveway, but it's like metal on concrete?
Yeah,
I would
there's
ugh.
some there's some that are very expensive that the torque sleds that have wheels.
Oh, okay.
You can do those. But like mine is wood. I made, homemade one out of
Mhm.
wood, so that wouldn't tear it up. So you could do
Mm.
something like that. And it's
Mm.
not super expensive to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, good list. That was awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Thanks for listening. If you like this, leave us a review, please. We'd appreciate it. See you next week.